So this morning I talked about Elmo because we watched a lot of Elmo over the weekend. Well, just day to day comes up. But another video we watched this weekend is Beauty and the Beast. And there are loads of like various, slip-ups and questions and theories and, inconsistencies, whatever you want to call them, continuity errors that take place within Disney movies and Pixar movies and things. There are videos all over YouTube that are dedicated to that, finding the questions and trying to come up with answers to them. But I just want to point out a couple. And I may end up going on longer than I intend to, but this should be a relatively short video. The first one is when Gaston comes to Belle's house early in the movie when he's trying to ambush her into marrying him, essentially, when he's got the wedding preset and all that. And he comes to the door, he goes in her house, walks around, puts his muddy boots up on the table, does that whole scene. But something that I find interesting, when Belle answers the door, she pulls down a little periscope thing and peers out, and he's pressing his face up against it. She opens the door and she pulls it inward. And he comes in, pushes his way in. And then they go through the whole scene of he's like, you should really marry me. I'm the best. You're the best. We should get together. Puts his little, his toe is poking through the hole in his sock. She kind of backs up against the door. And as he's approaching her, she opens the door and he falls out down the steps and into the pig pen. Same door opens outward. It's a different direction. And, it's no big deal. It could be a double swinging door, except when he falls out, she slams the door and it slams from the inside again. So he falls out the door, it opens out onto the porch or the stoop, whatever you want to call it. And then when she slams it behind him, it shuts as if it had opened inward. And it actually makes like a slamming sound, like it hits the door jamb and latches and everything. So it's not a double swinging door. I don't know if the animators were trying to be sneaky here, or if they ever expected somebody to catch it, or if the editors missed this idea entirely. But within a couple minutes of each other, this entire dialogue between them, from the time Gaston enters the house to being thrown out of the house to then Belle reopening the door, setting his boots out and slamming it again, the door opens different directions each time. It comes inward when he comes in, it goes out when he goes out, it comes inward when Belle opens it to put his boots out again. So that's just one of the inconsistencies I noticed in watching the film. It bothered me because it's not, it doesn't fit. It doesn't work. It's not consistent with what it should be. Either your door opens in or it opens out. Most exterior doors open into the building. It's like residential, I should say. Businesses tend to open outward. But such is life. The other issue I have is with Lumiere, the candlestick. When Belle comes to rescue her dad and takes his place, Lumiere's standing in the little alcove lighting the stairwell, and Beast roars and blows out Lumiere's candles. In the very next shot, not even a new scene or anything, the next shot, the camera pans away and then comes back. And I say camera even though it's an animated film, there's really no camera per se. But in the very next shot, Lumiere is lit again. How? How does he relight? Does he have, he was a human. Was he known for being exceptionally gassy? That he can just spontaneously combust? I don't know. I don't understand. second issue I have is he's a candle. He's made of wax. As his flame burns, shouldn't he be melting? He's like lit throughout almost the entire film. He should be melting, right? He doesn't. Until the villagers come and attack the castle, and one of them is holding a torch at Lumiere, causing him to melt. So, does he only melt by external flame? How does that work? How does he relight himself and produce this flame consistently without melting himself? And then this torch just melts in his face, like, right off. And then, the issue I take with that is, like, the torch is, like, he has no way of fighting back, but then, like, in a couple shots later, he sneaks up under this guy's butt and, like, blows out really hard, and he shoots a flame, like, really hard up out of his head. Why couldn't he just do that to the guy holding the torch? I don't understand that. He needed Cogsworth to come and stab the guy in the butt with the scissors. Doesn't make sense. And I realize this is all in a world in where people were turned into furniture items and household utensils. But still, if you're going to accept that as logical, then you should also, the physics of it should all match up as well. So that's just a few of the problems that I want to point out in that film. One of my favorite films. One of my favorites, by far, in the Disney franchise. And not just because Emma Watson plays the live-action version of Belle. No. I've liked Beauty and the Beast from the get-go. Okay? In my book, it goes Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, in that order. They're all fantastic films, and I enjoy them thoroughly. But there are things that come out. I mean, I know it was like the 90s, and animation at this capacity was still relatively new, and, you know, people were just in awe of the fact that it existed, you know. But come on, if you're going to spend all that time drawing these pictures out by hand and animating them and making it work, then you should be able to catch it. In my opinion. But Disney does know what they're doing. I mean, they own like a third of the entire entertainment industry of the world, so they gotta be doing something right. Congratulations, Walt. You did good. Alright. If you're interested in hearing more on these types of topics, I would suggest that while you're here on YouTube, you search the Super Carlin Brothers. They do a lot of Disney, Pixar videos. I mean, that was their basis, is they cover like Pixar theory and Disney movies and stuff. So check them out. Super Carlin Brothers, Carlin, Carlin. And if you're interested in finding more of the mistakes and continuity errors and goofs in the films, then check out CinemaSins. They're usually his videos are a little bit longer, usually over 20 minutes. So make sure you have a little bit of time. But the Super Carlin Brothers and CinemaSins are two that are very worth checking out if you're into the movie scene and learning more about the making up of the film, how it's put together, finding issues within it. Those are two solid channels to check out. Alright, that's enough of my shout-outness for today. Just wanted to relay a few of the issues I took with Beauty and the Beast this weekend. And if Disney ever calls me and asks for my suggestions, I will happily give them. See you in the morning.